Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of We Are Feel. I hope you have watched the previous episode and I hope you really caught up with what we have been up to. So this is an interesting episode, but before we get started, please remember to follow us on all our social media platforms. We_are_feel. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, where else? TikTok, all social media platforms. And then also, if you're watching this, it means you're on YouTube. So please subscribe. Click on that notification bell so that you know every time we release new content. So today's episode would be very different. But before we get into the episode, I'll let my co-host Leah, who is behind the camera, just say hi and then we can start.
Hello guys, how are you? Thank you so much for joining us.
Cool. So, Leah, I think over to you.
Thank you. So today our episode is quite interesting because it's an interview for a couple, and them being a couple, and also February being the month of love. So we thought that it's good to have one of us who is out of the market, hayuko soko kama sisi wengine, to kind of give us some of this wisdom that they're having, so that hata sisi maybe tutaweza convert. Yes. So I think I'm going to start by asking you guys to introduce yourselves, who you are, what you do. Yeah.
You go first.
Okay, so hi. My name is Moihaki Wambui. Most of my friends call me Wambo or Rita for mostly work, or Leah. But I'm an associate. I work for a tech company and also an education company. So we train young Africans in tech fields, and then we offer tech as a service to companies that are starting up, so startups or already established companies. So yeah, so I'm an associate.
Ah, cool.
At least give us one hobby or something
One
I like
hobby.
doing.
I like the outdoors, so I like anything that is nature gives me a lot of peace. So yeah, I think that's something we have in common. But
Oh.
anyway, over to you.
Yes, good evening. I'm James Kabutugo, a project manager. I work in projects in various fields, be it HR, IT, construction. I'm a project manager at JQuat Enterprises. Yep. In my free spare time, I love reading, though I have fallen out of, but it's love-hate relationship, but we are trying to make it work. I am the other half of these relationships. The tricky half, she is the better half. Yeah.
That's a good one. So I think we'll just jump into it, and I know everyone usually likes a story. So can you give us a story of how you met, or how did this start?
Oh, do I go for? All right. So I met Rita through Leah. Yeah, she was my plug. You can DM her for
I offer services of matching people.
of bringing people together. Yeah, so I just invited. It was over Christmas, 2020, I believe so, the COVID year. So yeah, we had just closed for the holidays. Invited her for a couple of drinks. Surprise, she came with Rita, and it was an awesome evening full of conversations, just laughing out of the year, closing the year and moving on to the next. There was a second kind of invite, I believe. Was it the same year? It was the same year, the same December. I believe it was the same December. Yeah, and so yeah, I got to thinking, I've seen a lady here and she looks great, and I wouldn't mind knowing her more. So one thing led to the other. Of course, the butterflies of asking for her number. If I ask for a date, how will it turn out? Will I be thrown away with my DMs and my haze? The guys of hey, and then you're just speaking to yourself. But one thing led to the other. It was a coffee date. The next, it was a lunch date. Well, just like that, 2 years down the line.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice
yeah.
one, nice one, nice one. Richard,
I don't know if that is the same person.
There's just the same. Yeah, I was
So-
actually about to ask the same. Is that there's a story aligned with what you also remember?
I think yes, because we did meet on that first. When we went, actually, you convinced. I didn't want to go, but I remember like Leah forced me into it. She was like, 20, the first time, and then I played 20, and I was like, so I 20. So initially, I didn't want to go, but then I ended up going, and yeah, I feel like it's been like a whole like journey, because we really clicked, and he's very family oriented, so that was actually most of our conversation on our first coffee date. He would talk about his family and all those things, so I felt like this is somebody who's very aligned in terms of my values, because one thing I really value is my family and just everybody that I really care about, so I felt like that was something we aligned on. And then he also likes outdoorsy activities. We do hikes together. He likes to bike. I don't like bikes, but it's outdoors, so
That's a whole other story.
yeah, that's a whole other story.
Well, it's not part of this story.
We dig in. Let's unpack.
So I felt like that there was alignment in that, and then he's very calm. So even in our interactions, when we started getting to know each other, he had a calmness that I didn't have. I don't even know if I have it still. I don't know, but anyway, I felt like it was a calm to like quote unquote my storm. So yeah, then we just started seeing each other more. Yeah, the journey has been bumpy, but tuko hapa.
Okay.
The journey has been the journey.
She's answered one of my next question of like what made her choose to entertain you and say hi to the highs. So maybe from your end, what was that thing that was like, oh, okay, like was this someone I want to have more conversations with past hi? Yeah.
Okay, no.
Well, that son, scary. Don't worry.
I shouldn't say the wrong thing.
No, feel free.
It's a safe space.
So, I don't think there is that one thing that I can point to.
Okay.
It's only that because I was coming from a point of we didn't have a prior relationship. It wasn't like we've known each other for a while. So I kind of like know the good, the bad, the ugly. No, it was actually I got to know her through the journey. So I was coming from a point of conscious relationship. Like I was looking for I was consciously looking for a relationship. And so, funny enough, I laid it all down on the table.
On day one.
I won't say what I laid on the table, but I laid it all down on the table because I was coming from a point of I'm not here to kind of see if it works kind of situation. I was here I want a relationship. And I'm ready for a relationship, a strong one that might lead, long-term relationship. So I laid it all down there because it was either pick it or leave it. Yeah. She picked it. So the fact that she picked it, it was kind of that now like okay, let's do this.
Was it scary for you to like have everything being said like on day one? Like for me, I think I'd just be like, was it scary for you, or what was running through your mind during that moment?
I think the fact that I am not as vulnerable as like I have not experienced that kind of vulnerability from somebody, like where they're just like, this and this has happened, this and this is what I have to offer, like it's not every time you go out on a date you get somebody who actually brings the most important conversations at the forefront, and they're not bringing the conversation of what do you like to eat, I don't know what's your favorite color. No, they're just going into the meat of it, and then they're like, this is how I am, and this is how my family is, and this is how I interact, and all those things. It felt like something I've never felt before, and I think that was part of the thing that drew me in, like the curiosity of how does this function, you know. So I was like, how does it function to be with somebody who's very conscious and very intentional? How does that look like? So I was also, other than just finding him like attractive and stuff, plus he has a tattoo and I have a tattoo, so I felt like hakuna mtu atambia mwingine atoe, itabidi tungangane. Hapo kuna alignment. So like I just him in himself as a person, I felt like because of his conversation from day one, it was not something I have seen or I have experienced growing up or in my situations. So yeah.
How many have there been?
Let us discuss that later.
Oh, okay.
Should I ask people? But let me just pair them. Let me just pair them for today. So I think both of you, maybe James has answered, like he was conscious about wanting to be in a relationship. Were you also in that space of like, I also want to be in a relationship, or you're just like, I'm just curious, and then you kind of took it, get deeper, kajipata depends.
Yeah,
maybe pool architecture, you know.
I don't know. I thought at that point I was very ready to be in a relationship, but as I have, like, even as we've had challenges, I've been feeling more ready than at that time, because I can't compare myself now and myself at that time. I feel like there's been a lot of change, right?
You've more eased into it.
Yeah, I feel like, and I was also trying to, I felt like I was playing catch up in a sense, because he's more like ahead of me even in terms of my career and things like that. So I felt like it's very like it's like I'm in the deep end and I'm trying to play catch up, and I was giving a lot of pressure on I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to do that. So at that time it's easier, like right now it's easier than at that point in time.
Sorry, never knew I was giving pressure.
No, you're not giving pressure. I think it was more for me, like me giving myself some certain type of pressure to like make sure I am, like keeping up to a certain, or just making sure that I'm checking everything, or like I'm advancing in my career or advancing in this, just to make sure that I'm not left behind, or I'm not like absorbed in the relationship, that I don't kind of find or have my own footing, like in that way. Like it was not you, it was the legend.
Yeah.
It's not you.
It is her.
Yeah.
It is her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, nice one. So what about your personal journeys has impacted the way you show up in this relationship? Are there specific things in your personal journeys, maybe from your childhood as you've been growing up, your experiences in other relationship, that has impacted the way you are currently showing up in this relationship, and how are you currently showing up in this relationship?
Wow.
Yeah.
The queen of introspective questions. Any media house out there, I think Leah would make a super investigative journalist. These deep questions, you can reach me. I'm her manager, so
that is your way of going around.
Over to you.
Wow, okay. My personal journey and how it's impacting how I show up in my relationship. I think at the beginning it really had more negative than positive impact. Especially because if you've listened to most of our podcasts, you would know some of the things that we went through growing up. So I felt like some of those aspects really showed up negatively in how like we interacted. So at that point it was affecting how I showed up, because I wouldn't say I was like my 100% authentic self, because I was feeling like I was struggling with some things which were not allowing me to really like just let myself go and experience the relationship. Like I was not experiencing the relationship. I was trying to think about, okay, a relationship should be like this or should look like this. I was not letting myself experience what a relationship is. So that I think was something I needed to learn. And then also the fact that in my past relationship I dealt with things like trust issues, somebody being unfaithful and all those things. So coming into this one, there's something about James that's very genuine, that it's very, like I've never had issues with trusting him. Like I've never thought about, okay, sizes for the text and the text, and like it has never crossed my mind. And that's because of the space he has given me, like allowing me to explore even things that are not like the things I'm doing, I can explore further because I trust him and I trust he will show up for me. So I feel that's something I didn't see really growing up, but his consistency in that throughout the time that I have known him has made me like show up better, because now I don't need to worry about unfaithfulness or somebody not coming through for you. Now I'm able to even come through for him better, because I know I would get the same thing from him. I'm not giving more than he's giving. It's like we are trying to combine or merge it. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Oh, it's my turn. How do I even follow that?
All the best. All the best.
Yeah. So you asked how my personal journey informs how I show up in this relationship. So now this requires some reflection. My past. The reason as to why I started by saying I got into this consciously. At one point, this won't be used against me. Right? So at one point, it so happens, I was kind of a bad boy, quote unquote.
Gangster.
Yeah. So when I actually had taken quite a break from relationships before I got into the current one, and all through there were some things that I was trying to kind of work them out within myself, because I realized I was pretty much broken. I was a number of pieces, so I had to consolidate those pieces for them to make sense, because I had to understand me so that I can get into a space that I can accommodate someone else consciously, intentionally, and I don't end up breaking more people. And coming from that background, I just believe in working it out. It's as simple as that. It doesn't have, there's no philosophical concept around it. It's simply working it out. Just know that you have to put in the work. You have to show up each and every other day. In my personal journey, currently I'm trying to build myself, developing myself in some aspects, and so part of the journey is supporting, and that also informs why I'm doing the episode. Yeah.
Nice.
So it's just simply showing up.
Just
Day
showing
1,
up,
day 2,
day
day
two.
3, day 4, and it rolls on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I from your understanding is like both of you, there's a way that journey has impacted you, but right now it's like some form of consciousness that and intentionality that is in building this relationship, despite all that comes with the relationship, or all that comes with that relationship package, which I think is a very good thing. My other question would be, what is your guiding star? What is your North Star? Like organizations have like a strategic
5-year strategic plan.
Or like there's a goal that they are working towards, and after that goal they break it down to like objective. In a relationship, what is your like a guiding star or something that centers you, both of you, in this relationship you're currently in?
Okay,
Let's see if we
awesome.
have the same
What's the guiding star? What's the North Star to this relationship? That is from my perspective. Oh, okay.
Yeah. If you have a shared one, you can like speak. But yeah, you can share like what is like one thing that you think is grounding and centering your relationship that can be used as like a guide.
A guiding star.
Yeah.
From where I sit, it's pretty much thinking about the wholesomeness of the relationship, and at the center of it is an indescribable love, because you have to know this person and accommodate them with everything that is them, the full package. So the guiding light is where I build a space that is safe. I build a space that is safe for both of us, where we can be our individual selves, but still get that connection, and we can grow together still. And so it's guided by thinking ahead, like what is that you're building towards? What do you want the future to look like? And then also thinking, now when you're in the future, when you think back, how has the journey been? Also, how do you want the journey to be? And in that, you don't come with preconceived ideas that a relationship should be like this, a relationship should be like that. There are those love gurus and relationship gurus, and they give a lot of wisdom. I'm not disputing that. But I believe in building an authentic relationship, one that works for both of you. If you go and take a textbook scenario or those romantic movies where it's all rosy to the very end, trust you me, things are going to be rocky. Because every day that something does not tick the box you knew should be ticked, it will always be something against what you believe in. Yeah, so you just come and experience it, grow, build that mutual understanding of what you are building towards, and carry the dream together. As long as there's that open communication, which I hope I've managed to build, I don't know. As long as there's that open relationship, communication channels where you speak what you think is right, and you are open to hear from the other side, you build something together. So that journey, that is the guiding star.
Mademoiselle.
Same answer. I feel like also the fact that we have like, I feel like in some sense we see each other as each other's family. So I feel like that's also very, very like grounding, because I see myself as his family, and also the same, like when we go to family events and he's not there, I feel like even for Christmas I was like, something's missing. So I feel like that sense of us feeling like each other's family, so the fact that that is something that's important to us is also like something that's grounding and helping like guide us, because you always want to move, you don't want to leave your family behind.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so actually you've put in your answer.
Yeah.
The North Star is mutual. It is.
Yeah, it's similar.
It's a team. It's the
You're
teams.
you're aligned, because there would have been a problem. Do not say it's not similar. I'll be like, I think we need to cut this. We need to cut this, guys. It's done.
We need to put in my tent.
Tuta Rudy, we'll be back. Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
good. That there's that alignment, because I feel like in any kind of relationship there needs to be an alignment of where we are going to, and if that there's a mismatch in that, then that means you're either there for the good feeling and then you're out.
Yeah, for the positive.
For the
negative.
you're not here for the negative, or you're not here for the long term. For you, it's a short term game, and if anything feels just off, you're out. But the fact that there's an alignment in terms of what that North Star looks like, then I feel like it will always be a guiding factor in, even when you're having conflicts and stuff like that, you can go back, but you're like my family, so or we want to make sure we are in a wholesome relationship, so we need to work this out, right?
Precisely.
Yeah, and that goes down to how you said the road has been bumpy. So how do you deal with the bumps? How do you deal with conflict? What grounds you when you're in conflict? Yeah, get comfortable. Get comfortable. Oh, kuna watoto.
No. Sorry, the question was what has?
How do you manage the bumpiness that comes to the relationship? In there, mention how you deal with conflict, or what grounds you when in conflict. What brings you both to a place where you're like, okay, from either the shouting or whatever, or the I'm not talking to you, or what brings you back to, okay, now this is something that we need to deal with?
That's a hard question. I think, okay, first and foremost, I think the way we are different is one of the things that really helps us deal with conflicts. No, I feel like
actually the difference in personality. The difference in personality creates kind of a smooth landing for any conflict that might arise.
Yeah, I feel like he's very calm. I'm not that calm. But nowadays also
kidogo, small.
Yeah, but like he has some aspects of how I would react to something, but my reaction is usually escalated, and he's always very calm and very chill. So even when we are having issues, my tone of voice, or I can be very something aggressive. Passive aggressive, and he is calm as F. Like, so chill. He will talk through the issue. He will not be passive aggressive. He won't like shout, but you can tell when he's kind of like, but he's very chill, and I'm not that version. So I feel like, not that I'm dramatic, right?
Yeah. Yes, she's not dramatic.
Not that I am dramatic.
No comment.
I'm not dramatic. Okay, if I'm dramatic, I would say, okay, whatever. Anyway.
Maybe to a degree, maybe. I've said maybe. We underline the word maybe.
Okay, how do we deal with conflict?
How do we deal with conflict?
Yeah.
Actually, we just talked through actually how we deal with conflict. We deal with conflict personally. From my perspective, I deal with it by reading the cues. You read the cues. I have to have that extra eye, or rather that extra sense, to note when you're not good. It usually pops. And the fact that she has a vibrant personality, it pops out loudly. Like you're like, oh, we are not in a good space. And so, mister, you have to play your cards right. And so,
Tread
in most
carefully.
cases, So in most cases, what I do on my part is I give the space. I give the space, but I keep checking. The good thing is that at the end of the day, we don't sweep things under the carpet, and that is the most important point. We don't sweep things under the carpet. We have those times, those tensed moments. So I'll step back, give the space, and because I've already known there is something off, I'll keep probing, like, hey, are we good? Hey, are we good? So it will get, of course, a point, and I'm like, okay, we are not good, what's up? Because I'll have given the space for people to breathe and be calm, and then when we are good, the good thing is we always say, just come right out with the 1, 2, 3 things. Kinda rubbed me the wrong way. I would prefer 1, 2, 3 things. We talk about it. I give my perspective. She gives her perspective, and we trudge on. We resolve whatever it was there.
Do you feel like that's a system that you have formed over a period of time?
Oh, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't like at day one.
You're killing it.
No.
No. And I think also just to add, because I've seen, really, I'm very cognizant of when you take time, when you give me time. Because I remember there's also, like when I've done a lot of peopling, because in some ways I'm very introverted. So when I've done a lot of that, it's hard to keep up a certain level of energy when you're now like settling down for the evening. So there was a time I wasn't feeling that energetic, and you're very, I think your love language is touch. So you're very, and at that time I didn't want that. I wanted the space to like re-energize, and I was able to communicate, and I told you like right now just give me a few minutes just to stay on my own, and then we stayed on different parts of the couch, and then after a few minutes then I was able to like come back. So I feel like that could have escalated into an argument really fast. Like if he had not been in a position to listen, it would have escalated really fast, but because of the fact that he understands how I function and he gave me the grace to kind of just like find my footing again, I feel like that also helps us really like solve any issues, because you listen to what the other person is saying or not saying, and you kind of try to support even if you don't understand.
Okay. Nice one. For watu wako soko na watu wenye wamekuwa vibanda, tips. Please take tips.
Buy our book.
Buy book coming soon.
We're releasing a book.
Yes.
Sure.
So I think I'll start asking like more lad questions. What are your love languages? How do she communicate love, and how does she receive love? And how does he communicate love, and how does he receive love? How does he show love, and how does he receive it? Because those two things sometimes are different, sometimes are similar, but yeah.
Okay. You want to go first?
Wow. I told you, introspective. Now, where do we start?
You can use the five love languages maybe to make it easier, or however you think she does in other actions that might not maybe be highly highlighted. So, yeah.
I don't know. I stand corrected though. She loves gifting.
She receives love by being gifted.
She loves also gifting.
Or she also loves gifting.
Yes.
Okay.
And so I kind of worked it out. If you love gifting, then like by gifts. Default, it's also how you receive love.
Not all the time. Like me, I'm a gifter, but I don't.
Yeah,
I don't care about gifts.
So I would hazard a guess. We're still walking the journey. The journey is quite long. So maybe if you ask these questions this time next year,
10 years to come,
I might have a more solid answer. For now, gifting.
Showing and receiving.
Yep.
I kind of agree. As the other partner.
Wow, being in a threesome is such a challenge.
Oh well.
Let's see. How do you receive love, and how do you give love? I think he's physical touch. Yeah, I think that's his biggest way of showing love. Receiving, and also quality time. Like one way or another, we will end up doing an activity. Hata kama siku hata uko. So like that finding time, and he'd always find time within the week to grab a coffee with me. So I feel like quality time for him is a big thing, and I'm finding that I am also moving towards like quality time. I'm not very physical touch, but I think quality time. And then that's how you show love. And then there's how you receive love. You also love gifts. I feel like I don't think I 100% show love through gifting. I feel it's because I look at things that I feel you would need, and then I'm like, okay, I can. In my head, it's not like I'm gifting you. In my head, it's like I'm giving you something you need. Because even if you look at my gifts, take what you too. I give something. I buy something practical. So from I don't know. Maybe that's. I don't know. It's true.
I don't know.
But for you, I think maybe now I'm trying to force it, but I think gifting. I think you like getting gifts because you're also always so giddy. Then you want to try something. You come eggs and go. You want to try it at that time. I feel like that's your way of receiving.
I'd say maybe, I don't know.
But quality time is also a way you receive love.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I enjoy spending time with people. I'm conservative in a way, but for the people that I've built relationships with, I enjoy that connection. Yeah.
I just picked it up. I'm like that third part of this. Like not so much. Oh, nice one. Let me ask, just like I don't know, maybe it's a silly question. Did any of you have like a checklist of when you're getting into it, or like no expectations? I don't need him to be like this and this and this and this. When you were getting into it, was there a checklist, or like, okay, oh, I like that?
I think for me the biggest thing on my list, and it has.
Oh, there was a list.
The biggest thing on my list that I've progressively seen is, I think you know it, because if you stop,
no,
you have issues.
I'm noting. It's good for, you know.
I think somebody who wants to grow. I think I've seen that, even if I wasn't very like keen on it when we started, like right now, not that now I have a checklist for what I'm looking for, but I have a checklist for what needs to continue being there. Like I need you to continuously thrive and to continuously grow and build, and you know, like just things to make yourself better. And that gives me a challenge to do the same for me, because I feel like the moment I see that one of us is like pulling their weight, like, you know, I think that at that point it will be very problematic. So that's something that is on my list that needs to constantly be there. Like there needs to be alignment in terms of we are not just in one space. There needs to be steps, progressive steps. So yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And on your list?
I didn't have a list going.
You had a list.
I didn't have a list.
You had a list.
But they had to be ready for a relationship. That was one.
Yeah, like that one.
No, you see, when I put everything on the table on day one, I didn't have a list. Like I didn't have expectations. You see, when you put everything on the table, it's 50-50.
It become more like 80-20.
Unaweza ambiwa potea. You get my point? So to me, it's more on discovery. Every other single day, just know what ticks for them. Know what you need to do. As long as at the back of my mind I know, yes, this, this, and they have to put in work. So I'll put in work. But least on expectation from the other side, it's mostly a discovery. Yeah,
Okay.
that's why it's a journey. You discover day 1, you discover day 2, you discover day 3. Day 4, you think, oh, that's the thing. And then day 5, you're like, oh, probably it wasn't the thing. And so, then, to me, that is pretty much life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have like some quick fire questions.
The last one.
Yeah, the last ones. I'm done grilling you. Don't worry. I hope I'm Jakwanya Machoma.
Kidogo mtahave kuscrap the top layers.
Scrap the top layers.
Oh,
After
yeah.
this, you can breathe. I promise.
So how does it work? Do you ask and then everybody answers?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wish I had like a pen and like a paper. Maybe I can hand you some. Then you can write on those notebooks. Then you can just start them. That's okay.
Yeah.
So
Sorry?
you
Oh.
sit looking that way. So I'm gonna ask a question. You write
Oh,
it down.
This is dangerous.
Yeah, and then you turn it. Let's just start some conflict.
Oh, Lord God.
is
of
dangerous.
all creation. Okay. Oh, wow.
So you have to write it like in bold.
Yes. So write big ones.
Yeah, but why?
And I need you guys to like not look at each other's answers. So number 1.
Oh, but we can look at each other.
Yeah, you see those questions that you didn't want to ask each other on the first date because you wanted to lay it all down on the table. Those are the ones that you're asking. So what is your partner's favorite color?
This is tricky. No, this is tricky for the gentleman. This is tricky for the gentleman.
No.
Because the gentleman does not know
God.
what that
Just
color's name is.
You write whatever. Like if you feel like it's brownish, just write like it's blackish.
Oh.
Yeah, you're allowed to use
Okay, I'm
ish.
going to guess. Oh, I should write mine.
Let us
No.
use.
Oh, you should write.
Mine so that.
No, you should write his.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
And then him writes yours, and then when you turn, then you either agree or disagree.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Go. We can see. That is black.
Blue.
Okay. Is that your favorite color?
It happens to be.
It happens to be.
Yes.
Okay. She's on the right track.
Yes.
Yours?
Bluish. Yeah.
It's bluish.
Bluish. There's a
There
certain
is-
shade.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. Men, colors.
You can't. I thought you'd say fuchsia, but.
Hey, what is that?
You and your member. That's a story for another day.
What's your current favorite song?
Song.
Yeah.
Oh, hers.
Yeah, has. Current favorite song.
Hey.
Lord, hey. Sio national anthem.
Inaweza kuwa.
Hey.
Kwanza in English.
Wimbo ya taifa. It's a prayer. I've remembered it. Oh, lakini imepotea. Hey. I know the artist.
Hum it.
I can write the
Hum it.
artist.
Yeah, you can write the artist.
Even humming shida.
When? You
But
done?
I can't remember.
Okay.
the
Uh-huh.
title.
Because I can't also remember the title.
Kirk Franklin. Is he?
Uh,
Is this your favorite song now? The artist Kirk Franklin.
Since you can be.
Now this will be a tricky.
Okay.
It's a tricky question to her. I listen to
Very old songs. Mrs.
my
Joaquin
range.
Regina.
My range of songs are random. At no one point will I like have
Like one
something
song that is on repeat.
repeat. No, unless I'm going through something, then I have several photos.
Okay, for her. Who is that?
She's a gospel artist.
Sissy Winans.
Yeah.
There's a
Goodness
Yeah,
of God.
Yes, that one. Huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, that one.
Goodness of God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been playing it on repeat, but right now I have a different song, but maybe just didn't play.
Which is the Joy in the Morning?
Yeah.
I told
No,
you.
I played it. Ile siku nikikwambia usikize hiyo song.
Oh yeah, she did.
Yeah, I got you on the playlist. Please come see me.
Merchant.
What's your favorite partner's food?
Food.
Their food, yeah. Food that they like most.
Yetu tungeanza nayo.
Haraka wewe.
Tungeanza nayo.
Hii ndio mnajua kabisa. So what is it? Fish, Is that true?
Yeah.
Chicken, yes.
Chicken. Okay.
Okay.
Is it just like fish peke yake or like is it fish and
Fish, ugali na greens za kienyeji.
okay.
Chicken.
We like from making FC lakini of late we are making conscious decisions.
Wow. Nafanya watu wa gym walishuku.
Oh, we're not supposed to be dropping
but chicken, it's okay.
Chicken.
Okay. Favorite movie
For this year?
this year? Or what is that one movie that they have been like, oh, Jesus?
I don't have a favorite per se, but I know the genre.
Oh, the genre. Okay, then try the genre. I think the genre is way better.
You're rating for my genre?
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm rating for yours.
Yeah.
You need racing. You need nini? Kupigana. Action.
Okay. Action movies.
That's very true.
Superheroes, Marvel.
Yes,
Oh, yes.
superheroes
Marvel
and
Kina Avatar. Avatar was your favorite movie.
implying, yeah.
Yes, yeah. Kwambia mimi kwa
Leo like nina validate.
na bayo. Hiyo nimeitikia. So this one you can say it together just as we wrap it up. What are some of the activities you enjoy doing together?
I think hiking.
Hikes, walks.
Yeah, walks. What else? Eating out.
Yeah.
I like eating out. I think I've even you in a bit.
Like just having new experiences, especially restaurants, trying new things.
Yeah. Oh, and
The other-
movies.
And yeah, in movies. Especially we align on the superhero action.
Yeah, action, superhero.
By default action.
Na movies
Yeah.
za
Superheroes-
movies za
James
kitambo.
Superheroes have action.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're action part. So
Na hizo movies za kitambo.
Ndio nasema
zipi hizo?
za watu wa suti, James Bond.
Hapana, Vikings, sijui akina
Oh,
Vikings.
yeah.
But we love period pieces.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do also line on that.
I told you. Yeah. Niiteni naweza wapatia. Anyway, so that is it. Over to you, Rita.
Oh, thank God.
We survived.
I was just like, Leah, when is the last question rolling? No. But thank you guys so much for listening to our, I guess, story. And thank you for coming.
You're most welcome.
Thank you so much.
Glad to be here.
So if you'd like to, where hauna Instagram? If you'd like to follow me, follow me on Instagram, Mehaki_Wambui. Remember to follow We Are Fear across all socials. And also, if you have any other, I don't want to say questions, but if you do, please make sure that you DM us on We Are Fear on Instagram. And thank you so much. I think that's a wrap, and we will see you on the next episode. Oh, happy Valentine's, everybody.
Happy Valentine's.